Hi everyone, welcome to episode 42 of the Tiny Disc Podcast, a show about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by the beautiful Jack Cepeda.
You're beautiful too, sir. Thank you very much, Robert. Hello, everybody, and hello to all the new listeners that may have joined recently. We appreciate you guys. Tell your friends. Bring them.
Thanks, babe. And the Buffalo Bill, Colin Sparling.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It puts the lotion on its skin.
No,
Anyway.
it doesn't.
For the whole episode, let's go.
What's going on, everybody? I'm here. I'm ready to do a show. I got my shorts that I bought in like 6th grade on. I'm feeling good. I'm good to go.
You were that size in 6th grade?
Is that your feel-good shorts? Like, yeah, I wore these when I was a boy.
Dude, listen. It says Bellevue Redmond on these sons of bitches because that was our mascot back home. Yeah, it's true. Redmond, right? And like you can't even read it anymore. It's so faded. These things are worn out to hell, and somehow they're still going.
I don't think I use anything from 6th grade anymore.
Well,
I don't know.
You do still jerk it, right?
Dude.
So you still use that from 6th grade?
We're earning these
Wait, you're telling me you guys didn't
explicit
outgrow
tag.
yours?
He shed it, and he's grown a new one.
Someone come in here and take me away, please. Lift me away. We're starting with some bangers here.
Oh, we are.
Gentlemen. So, Colin, since you're a gigantic man,
Yes.
we've established that now. With you, you're wearing the same shorts. I guess you're the same size in 6th grade. Apparently, I watched a very interesting documentary on HBO. Did you guys hear about this last night? It was basically twending on Twitter.
Twending on Twitter.
It was twending on Twitter. Andre the Giant.
Oh, isn't
I've
he
heard
that?
about
He's that wrestle man, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he is a giant Frenchman, and his documentary was super good, and it's brand new. It's on HBO Go, HBO Now, etc. And I've been looking forward to it for months. They've been teasing it for a long time, and I was, really, really young when he was popular, but it was cool to go back and like see like Ric Flair. Like, all right, like I was a closet wrestling fan, like when I was a little kid, right back when I thought it was real, and then when I found out wrestling was fake, like I was a little heartbroken by that. But anyways, yeah, they had like Ric Flair, they had Hulk Hogan, they had Vince McMahon, of course, Stephanie McMahon, everything, and it was just a really awesome documentary. But I mean, there's like parts with like Macho Man Randy Savage and stuff. Like, what do you guys know about Andre the Giant? Besides the Princess Bride.
Everything I know about Andre the Giant, well, the biggest thing that I always remember is didn't he got like really drunk after smashing like 50 some beers or something in one night at a bar?
No, dude, 50 beer. I'm glad you brought this up. 50 beers was nothing to this man. Nothing. Ric Flair talks about he was there with him one night where he downed 106 beers, dude.
In how long? Of like an hour?
In one night, dude, this man drank because like
It doesn't matter how. That's an incredible amount of beers. No matter like
yeah, no matter what, measure of time you take.
106 beers is incredible.
Yeah, I probably haven't drank 106 beers in the last 3 years, seriously. But anyways, so when you look at him hold the beer, though, it's like it literally looks like the small, tiny baby bottles they give you, of liquor. That's literally what it looks like in this man's hands. I mean, so they were talking about his drinking, and man,
I do hear he's a giant.
It's in the name.
Yeah,
it's in the name.
That is his biblical name, right? His Christian God-given name.
Andre is, yeah. And
mean, oh yeah, my name is the Giant. They just they gave me Andre when I joined the WWE.
yeah. That's what they added in. The Giant was already there. They needed to add in the Andre.
So I'm just saying, if you guys have access to HBO, it is totally worth watching. It is one of the best documentaries I've seen in a very long time. And as we know, he didn't end up passing away young,
right?
Because of his young, you know what I mean, like relatively young, and because of his disorder. But when he was about 16 is when and it's kind of weird to like live your whole life normal up to 16, and then only after puberty do you after puberty starts settling in, do you start like growing huge. That's when he got that giant growth spurt, which is kind of strange. So anyways, that documentary was awesome. I've just done a bunch.
I just realized that he might be the only man to actually be able to sing 99 bottles of beer on the wall and like go through the whole night.
In French too, I'll bet.
Wild.
So that documentary is awesome. It's on HBO now. Another thing I watched on HBO, I don't know what, they're on fire, but like probably one of the darkest movies you could ever imagine in recent times. They actually did a documentary on Joe Paterno and Penn State.
Oh shit.
Oh,
you don't know about this?
Really?
You don't know about this?
I remember the Joe Pa thing. Yeah.
It's actually not a documentary. I take that back. It's like a dramatization with, guess who's playing Joe Paterno? Al fucking Pacino.
Oh, no way.
What? Scarface is playing, Joe Paterno. Scarface.
Oh, man, that brings a whole new meaning to say hello to my little friend.
Bro, that
wait,
is
I thought it was
soon,
I thought it was
Oh my
Jerry
God.
Sandusky that was convicted of
It
fucking around
is.
with people.
It is.
Yeah.
It was Jerry Sandusky, and he's in it. And dude, it is creepy. If you know what Jerry Sandusky looks like, it is so creepy seeing the actor play him because he looks exactly like Jerry Sandusky. It was like haunting actually to see that on screen.
What if that was?
Dude, there's no way he's in jail, right? Like for the rest of his life. He probably deserves the death penalty, honestly, for what he did. But anyways,
wait,
so
do you want to give a little background? I don't know. Well, I don't know if anyone in the audience is, or everyone in the audience is going to know what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Colin knows what we're talking about here. So
I know.
Okay.
What?
So this was like big news, like what, like 5-6 years ago, something like that. So Jerry Sandusky was like the heir apparent, right? He was going to take over for Joe Paterno when he retired because he's been in the league like I don't know, 50 years, something stupid like that. He's like the longest tenured coach, etc. So anyways, he started this charity, Jerry Sandusky did, called the Second Mile, where he had access to like underprivileged youths, mainly young boys, and he would like mentor them and train them up to be like linebackers apparently or something like that. Ends up, being this giant, huge like sexual assault like ploy that he set up for himself, and like all kinds of crazy stuff was going on in Penn State facilities, like after hours and stuff, like in the shower room and all that. And so a lot of the upper management and Joe Paterno and like the president of Penn State like knew about it and basically tried to sweep it under the rug to protect the school's name rather than report it to authorities. And so it was just this giant scandal. Like people went to jail, people got arrested, the president had to resign, etc. And it's a super dark, really tragic, terrible story. They had to tear down the Lash building where like all the abuses like went down. And there was like an independent report, or there was an independent investigation that Penn State also launched to get to the bottom of exactly what happened. And at that point, when they had the Free report, the name of the lawyer I think was Free, his last name Freeh, something like that. Anyways, they found that Joe Paterno knew like years ago, like in 1998 and stuff, there were issues. And like, so he didn't do enough, right, to really show that he was looking out in the best interest of children. He just was kind of disgraced after that. And so he got fired. Joe Paterno got fired. And like, I want to say it was like 10 days, maybe 15 days after he got fired and lost his job, his career, his life, he died. Like right after, dude. It was so tragic. I mean, maybe it wasn't 10 days, but it was quick.
No, I mean, it was very, very soon after all of this happened.
It was quick. It was like you take the man's life away from him, he has nothing else to live for, So happy good times on the 20th.
Yeah, so we're going to like the extremes. We're going to like childish jubilance to this.
So, but this is on HBO. So I'm saying HBO's got some good stuff on right now. If you like that kind of depressing stuff. But on the flip side, guys, I just did a lot of random stuff this last week. I don't know. I'm living life. I'm doing things. I'm seeing Austin. I'm making moves down here in the South. Okay.
Oh, who's Austin?
I had.
See a friend?
I had the best crab legs of my entire life Sunday. Where are you guys on seafood? Mainly shellfish.
I love any and all seafood. I am not a shellfish guy about sharing my experiences with seafood.
What about you, Colin? Dad jokes.
Damn it. All right. I like seafood. Yes, I do. I like just about any seafood, as long as it doesn't taste too incredibly fishy. Like a lot of salt water fish tend to taste like. You know what I'm talking about when you get like
I love mackerel sushi. I love mackerel because it's salty, and I love anchovies too. I didn't always used to love anchovies, and now I really like them. Do you guys love them? A lot of people hate them.
I love anchovies.
Me too.
No, not a fan.
Dude, on a Caesar salad. Oh, you like Caesar dressing, right? I assume.
Yeah.
You know what makes Caesar dressing taste like Caesar dressing is ground up anchovies. Did you know that?
Well, I didn't need to know that.
now I hate Caesar dressing.
A lot of people don't know that. They love Caesar dressing, but that's anchovies that you're actually tasting and like cream and shit. So.
Do you feel
on a side note, real quick, did have you ever like met one of those people where like, hey, like they eat something, they're like, hey, this is really good, but the second they find out something that they don't like that's in it, they're like, I'm never fucking touching that thing again ever for the rest
I
of
know,
my life.
it's so childish.
I know a guy named Colin who swore off eating any kind of Caesar salad after he found out there was anchovy in it.
God.
and that's the reason why I like anchovies in my Caesar salad is because, like, let's say you got one on your fork, right, and you got the sauce in there all mixed up, you get the perfect bite, you got the little crouton, and then when you bite the anchovy, it's just like a little like an explosion of more Caesar dressing in your mouth.
Yeah, extra
So
anchovy juice.
I'm for that. Let's go there. So anyways, guys, these crab legs, it was like the Alaskan king crab cluster, right, is what it was called. $80.
What?
$80.
Excuse me. Wait. Was this like the whole crab or just a bundle of legs, or like how does this work?
2 pounds of Alaskan king crab legs, $80.
$40 a pound.
Yes.
You know why? I mean, shit. You guys ever watch fucking Deadliest Catch? You see how them motherfuckers?
No, I know
deal
people are
with?
dying for that shit. They're literally dying for that shit. And those people don't make that much. They make it seem like they make
well
a lot
for that.
They get paid well for, you know, a fisherman in Alaska, but like, you know, I'm sure in Alaska, $40,000 is pretty good money for what, like 6 weeks work or something like that. Like, yeah, but that's still not like, you know, the grand scheme of things. Like, that's not like, you know, well off, like risking your life well off. You know what I mean? Considering the NFL has a minimum salary of $250,000 or so.
I think it's actually $500,000, but yeah.
So this place was like magnificent. So they had the drawn butter. If you ever go to Red Lobster, they'll give you the butter to dip your crab legs in. And they had one up on like this like metal cage kind of thing with a fucking candle under it lit to keep the butter warm.
What? That's too fancy.
Dude, it was incredible. It was incredible. So I had the candle, I had the butter, I had two. Dude, look, I'm not a small man. I can eat like anybody else can, but I was so full after the first pound of crab legs. So I'm like, I clearly have to eat the rest of these crab legs. I ordered them. It's fantastic. This cooked perfectly. Like, I'm gonna force myself to eat the second pound of crab meat.
Holy crap!
And damn it, dude, it was the best. They were like, like the pieces of the chunks of meat coming out were like thicker than my thumb of just solid fresh crab meat. Oh
damn!
Well,
you know. Here's the thing. Like, I love me some crab. Don't get me wrong, but holy shit, are crab legs a pain in the ass to eat?
So this is what they did. I agree with you. When they don't, when you have to crack them yourself and all that shit, like you have to know what you're doing, and you can hurt your hands even if you do know what you're doing. But you really got to be practiced at that. You have to have technique. So what they did, I don't know what they did, but they must have taken like the sharpest blade on earth, and like they took them like lengthwise, right? Like if you stand a crab leg, if you stand a crab leg up, and if you like cut straight down the middle, right? So that's what they did. So all the crab legs were like cut in perfect half, and they didn't even chip or like tear the shell. It was just perfectly straight. I was like, how did they even do this?
It's one sharp ass blade. No, I bet they took a saw to it. That would surprise me.
But it would chip, wouldn't you think? It would like have some weird ridges. This was like seamless. So I don't know. It's a trade secret, but whatever. But I didn't need any tools to get all the meat out. I got to do all with just bare hands.
That's surprising.
Didn't need no cracker or fork or nothing.
But also, I feel like an establishment that charges that much for crab, like they know what they're doing to make it the absolute best experience for anyone.
Listen to this if you think that's crazy. So they had on the option, on the menu as well as an option, they had what they called a prime Alaskan king crab leg. One leg, $75.
Excuse me?
Could you murder leg? Could you murder a person with that leg?
Dude, I mean, it was huge. It looked like the head, the face huggers in like Half-Life. It was massive. It was a huge leg, and they're like, oh yeah, this is like the sweetest meat on the crab, da da da. And I'm like, I don't care how good it is. I don't care if it's the size of a baseball bat. I can't spend $75 on one crab leg. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell?
You could.
Oh, I'd feel bad.
Damn. I don't know.
Next time.
I just So I just hate when stuff's just like a pain in the ass to eat. Well, because it's really bad when you go to like, I don't know, say like a buffet or something like that, and you got like unlimited crab's legs.
Right.
And you get like the small ass ones. You're sitting there, you're spending like 30 minutes of your time smashing and cracking shells.
Shitty piece of meat out. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that
you're getting a
apart.
little tiny piece of meat. And by the time you crack all that fucking shell open, that meat is probably cold because you're taking so damn long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been there on that tip for sure.
I definitely prefer non-shellfish over normal fish. Or, yeah, I prefer normal fish. I prefer normal fish over shellfish. There we go. To me, top tier is like sushi, because there's no trick to sushi. You just eat it. You put it in your mouth.
You just stuff the whole thing in your mouth, even if it looks like you're not supposed to. You just put the whole thing in there.
And you don't even have to worry about bones with sushi. I mean, unless you have like a really bad sushi chef. But it's a simple, straightforward mechanic. And then you move on to fillets that you have to worry about bone, but at least it's like little. And then shellfish just fucking sucks. I mean, it's delicious, but it fucking sucks to eat.
I love me some shrimp though. I love some shrimp.
Yeah, I got Becky. I got her own shrimp cocktail, and they had it out with like the dry ice, and so like the mist and fog and shit is like popping out the bottom. And all
Were
that.
these like the shrimp that are bigger than like 3 fingers?
They were huge.
Just ginormous.
They were massive.
Like
it was like 5 shrimp per pound.
Like Drake and Josh, real big shrimp.
Oh, that's uncomfortable.
It was
that's uncomfortably big.
Yeah. they were good, but that place was phenomenal. And then the next day, they call me on the phone. They're like, "We just wanted to ensure that your experience was, phenomenal or something like that." And I was like, "Consider yourself insured." It was awesome.
Nice.
Like, I'll come back, So
wow, that's good customer service. I will say that.
Yeah, they went the extra mile. Yeah, they didn't fart in my chair. So
did they double check to see if you shat well that night? After
they didn't. No, they didn't offer to stop by and wipe for me or anything.
So not quite the best customer service.
We're calling to check on your stool after eating at our fine establishment.
Could you send us a sample of it for testing?
A
sample, just a quick sample of your stool.
We're sending you a beaker. We need you to poop in this.
It's shaped like a toilet for your fun. Isn't this amusing?
This is the best customer service.
Attach this piece to your phone and give us the scanned data.
So speaking of sending things to your house,
okay.
What do you men know and understand about a little service called Amazon Wardrobe? What do you know?
Nothing.
It's a new thing I just recently came to understand and learn about, and so apparently I was googling it, and it seems that some people think you have to be like invited. You have to get an email invitation to participate in this program. But I don't remember ever getting an email, and I just went online and I tried to do it, and I could do it, and I did do it. And so this is what it is. Amazon Wardrobe is not like open to the public apparently yet. No, only a few select people can do it. Whatever. Try it. I'm interested to see if you guys can do it. But you select a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 8 pieces of clothing in the Amazon Wardrobe store specifically. They send it all to you in a box that is resealable with a return label, and they give you 7 days to wear the clothes before they actually charge your card. So they'll send you up to 8 pieces of clothing to try on, and then you go online and say, "Hey, I'm keeping this, this, and this. I'm returning this, this, and this." And then you use the box it came in. It, like I said, it's resealable, comes with a return label and everything already. You drop it off at UPS, and then at the end of day 8, right, they will charge whatever the remainder is that isn't returned.
I've heard of similar services to this. Not that I'm going to say any by name unless you sponsor, but
right.
Yeah, I've heard of similar services, and I've always thought like that's kind of neat. Have you tried it?
I have tried it on, and I'm gonna keep at least 4 pieces of clothing.
That
over $100. I'm spending.
Oh shit! What'd you get? Like some dress shirts?
I got
dress
3
pants?
pairs. I got 3 pairs of jeans. I'm keeping 2 of them. I got a lot. I'm a big fan of the zip up, like the light spring hoodie. You know what I mean? Like the not too thick hoodie with a zipper and some drawstrings.
No, I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those. I wear those almost every single day over a t-shirt. That's basically my uniform in life. But so I got like 2 or 3 of those. Then I got a little experimental, right? Because I was like, well, shit, like, if I'm not obligated, I'm going to try some shit I've never tried before. Maybe I wouldn't be seen buying, in a store either out in public. So I got this Lacoste like zip up I don't know how to call it. I guess they call it a sweater jacket or some shit like that. It looked terrible. They said it was double XL, but it really was probably like a large.
Nice.
In normal, normal terms. So I look like a fat guy in a little coat when I put that on. So that was dumb.
Fat guy in a little coat.
And so I'm going to return that and just some other, various hoodies. But I'm going to keep, at least probably about half of the stuff I got.
Did you get a nice...
and I'm going to keep using it.
Did you get a nice spring sundress to try on? I mean, you said you were experimenting. I just thought I'd ask.
Not yet, but I mean, maybe Becky will, eventually. I'm going to keep using the service, dude. It was free.
I mean,
it sounds like an excuse to feel the breeze between your knees, if you know what I mean.
It's free up to a point. I mean, at the end, the ones that you keep, right, you still have to pay for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You go online and you have 7 days.
Can you buy like suits?
There's like nice clothes. There's dress up clothes there.
Yeah, so I was going to say
accessories too and shoes.
If someone wanted to, couldn't they just turn that into a free like suit rental service? You know what I mean? They could abuse the shit out of it.
I'm wondering about that. I mean, everything comes with tags on it. Most things come with tags on it. All my jeans came with tags on it.
So it's like a rental suit service, but your suits have tags on them.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely took the tags off the jeans I knew I was going to keep.
Right.
So, but I think it's a cool service.
So you can't return them if you have the tags on them, or if you don't have the tags on them.
I don't even know, to be honest with you. I bet you could. Amazon takes anything back.
That's true.
They don't care. Yeah. They take everything back. They do. They really strive for good customer service. So I'll give them that. There's been some difficulties I've had with them over the years, but they tend to treat me right at the end of the day. I've been with them probably like 10 years now.
Yeah. Thanks Jeff Bezos.
I should have bought stock 10 years ago, dude. I would have quadruple sextupled my investment.
Yeah, you'd be like stupid rich at this point.
Damn it.
You'd be a billionaire.
So, all right. I'd be a Bitcoin billionaire. So one last crazy thing. I have no segue for this at all, but I went to an old time movie theater yesterday after work. I movie passed it, of course. That's not even the interesting part. The movie theater was fine, but I'm just not used to being like, I don't know, like 100 yards away from the screen anymore. I'm just not used to that kind of experience, but that's how old theaters are because there's no stadium seating or anything like that. So I was really far. It seemed like I was watching the movie on a cell phone in front of me. But I watched A Quiet Place. I saw it.
Ooh. That's the one with Jim from The Office, right? He's like in a horror movie?
I know of The Office. I'm not a huge... I mean, I am a fan. I just never had the time to watch it. I'm sure it's a great show. But yeah, that's right.
John Krasinski.
Yeah.
He directed it.
I did not know that.
He directed A Quiet Place? Because Quiet Place is getting a lot of buzz right now.
Someone double check me, but I'm pretty sure he directed it. He might have written it too, but he plays the dad in the movie, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's brand new. I don't know if I should get too spoilery or not.
Yeah, just give us your impressions. You don't have to go give story spoilers.
My impressions were that it was a unique take. If you're a fan of Tremors, which I'm a huge fan of the movie Tremors, this is evocative of that. It's part, you know what? The thing that surprised me was it became way more of like a popcorn kind of summer flick than a straight up horrific kind of movie. There are horrific things in it, but it became way more like Predator or even like Jurassic Park than I was expecting.
Oh, so it kind of turns into a little bit of an action movie towards the end.
Kinda, yeah. It definitely, you definitely get a great look at the things. I won't say anything.
The Quiet,
but yeah, the Quiet. You definitely get a great look at him. It's not like mysterious or anything. Like, no, you see.
Oh, so this is like This is more like a creature feature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Because honestly, like I've heard a lot of buzz about this movie, but I have not a single clue what it's about. So
it's just the unique experience about it that I enjoyed was that obviously like the whole thing is like shut up, be quiet, or we're gonna die. And the experience the thing that I appreciated was how quiet the theater was, because everyone's scared to death to make a noise. Like people were changing the way they're like clearing their throat. People are like not eating any crunchy food. People are like sitting there just like you could hear your heartbeat in your chest. That's because the whole theater is so quiet.
That's actually pretty cool. I'm kind of a fan of that.
See, but the thing I was thinking about you, Robert, yesterday, because I was like, Robert would hate this because you hate jump scares.
You're right.
And so when it's so quiet, it makes it so easy to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I'm also a big fan of when movies directly affect the audience.
Oh, right.
Right?
Yeah.
Where like you can tell the audience as a whole, as a macro organism, has changed the way it breathes, it acts, it reacts because of how the movie affects them.
That totally happens here.
Yeah, because I mean, it's so easy to go to like a Marvel movie and just, everyone laughs at the laughs and, claps at the good action, whatever. But like, it doesn't change the people or like what your experience is in the theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from what I'm hearing, that's actually really interesting. I kind of want to see that in theaters now.
It was very crowded for a Tuesday night. It was very crowded, almost sold out. I would say that it is the kind of movie that I would absolutely recommend seeing in a theater with a group of people. It makes it a different thing. And it's a good movie. I mean, I have my own critiques about it. I don't think it's perfect, but I found it enjoyable, even though I was looking at it on a screen like 3 inches big. I was literally in the back row.
I mean, you were right earlier, by the way, that John Krasinski did write. He was part of the screenplay and director of it.
Yeah, I thought I saw his name. I will say this, though, that the ending is awesome.
Okay.
I don't know. You might either love it or hate it. You might. I could see it being polarized, and I am in the camp of loving that ending.
So the thing about horror movies, well, first of all, a lot of people are saying that this movie is like the best like horror movie that's come out in like the last 10, 15 years.
No, Get Out is better.
Okay. And also, it's really hard for horror movies. A lot of the times I feel that like to have good endings. Like oftentimes they do not have good endings.
Here's what I'll say, and I'll leave it a little cryptic, and this will probably be one of the last things I want to say about this movie. The ending, there is a parallel, believe it or not, between the ending of A Quiet Place and the beginning of Doom. The last game.
Is John Krasinski the fucking Doom Marine?
He's the Space Marine. No, I'm just kidding.
He's the fucking Doom Slayer.
Once you play the beginning of Doom and then go watch Quiet Place, you're going to be like, there's a through line there. It's awesome.
Like Doom 2016.
Awesome. Looks like we're going to Mars.
Yes, the new one. There is a similarity there. You're like, oh, yeah. Yep.
That's fucking wild.
It's awesome. It's a really great ending. So, and
then
again,
The
I can
Rock
see it being
comes in.
polarized. I can see it being polarizing, but I liked it a lot. And so that's it. I don't want to say too much about it. Maybe if you guys decide to watch it, we can do a spoiler cast
Maybe.
in the coming weeks. But I recommend it, and I definitely would say don't wait till it streams or is on DVD or anything. Watch it in theaters now.
I mean, we can maybe do a spoiler cast of it if we get through our other spoiler cast. We need to get through Colin of Nier Automata.
Every week we're gonna be on you, sir.
I'm kidding.
I'm not even done with it yet either. I only beat it the first time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about coming back to it now that I have Yakuza Kiwami out of the way. So I might.
But you have less than a week until Yakuza 6 is going to be on your plate. So
I'm still debating whether or not I want to play it before I play the other ones.
up to you. But let's start talking about games we've been playing, shall we? So, Colin, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. So wait, do we want to talk about the game you and I have been playing?
Yeah,
Or do
start
we want
with,
to talk
start
about
with the game you've been playing. I'm curious what
All
you've
right.
been touching up on.
All right, so after playing a couple of long running games, I wanted to jump into a game where I could just have some mindless and ridiculous, over the top fun, just blow shit up and just do whatever the hell I want. And that game for me right now is Just Cause 3.
I knew you were gonna say that. Awesome. It was on sale recently.
Yeah, it was on. Well, it was on sale a while back, and I picked it up. I just recently started, really playing it, and
Cool.
like it's definitely scratching that itch that I haven't had since I played Sunset Overdrive, and Sunset Overdrive was like one of my favorite games.
I still have that game on my shelf, even though I don't have an Xbox to play it on.
I mean, I think you can get it on the Microsoft Store, right? Because you can play it in.
PC?
It's not on
Xbox Play
PC.
Anywhere?
It's not on PC.
I don't think it's
It's not on PC?
No, I don't think so.
I would be shocked, and I'm going to
amazed.
leave right now if it is to go play it.
Damn. Well, anyway, yeah, it's sitting on my shelf. I don't own an Xbox either. Like I said before, I borrowed a buddy's. Anyway, yeah, in the same vein that Sunset Overdrive is just like all about having over the top ridiculous fun, and it never really takes itself too seriously.
Right.
Just Cause 3 is kind of like that. It has a vaguely serious story in that it's all about like this dictator's taking over this very like almost Cuba-esque like country, and like you're trying to like liberate it, right? Because the idea is you take over, like you take back all these settlements by literally blowing everything up.
Yeah,
they're like,
that makes
okay,
sense.
go into this base. You got to blow up all these propane tanks. Now you got to blow up all these transistors and all these turbines. Now you got to rip down all these towers. Like, but it's fun. Like it's ridiculously fun. You're just a dude with a grappling hook, a parachute, and one of those squirrel suits.
A wingsuit.
Right.
Wing
The wingsuits.
suits.
Still one of the best Sizzler trailers in the industry. One of the best announcers. Man, they got me so hyped for that game when they were like pre-E3 when they were announcing it and everything. I was like, oh my gosh. I have a question for you though, Colin. Like, how's it running? Because I knew that was like a question when it first launched.
It runs really well. I'm running it at ultra high settings. It seemed the graphics are a little bit underwhelming to me. I thought the game looked better than I remember. The game doesn't look as good as I remember.
Okay.
Because though it looks okay and the water looks amazing, but like the rest of the textures are just kind of bland looking. And I do notice a little bit of like every once in a while you get a little bit of like a shimmer or like a pop in, but not like pretty regular open world.
And you're running on a
stuff.
1060, right?
1060, yeah. And the game, I'm running at 60 frames. So
You are?
I don't know if it's because this game is 3 years old. 3 years
Yeah,
old.
I think so.
So I might have a little. I have a little bit of overhead there, so that I could be just powering through it because of my rig. But no, it runs decently well, and I know Jack, you have like a freaking 1080, so you're gonna blaze through it, no problem. You don't have anything to worry about.
Excuse me, it's actually a 1080 Ti.
Sorry.
This is why people hate
PC Master
gamers.
Race hair flowing
Guys,
in the wind.
seriously.
Guys, this is why people hate PC gamers.
Yeah, that was the one rule in the Slack at work. The video game Slack channel was like no PC versus console debates. It's the only rule.
No PCMR.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I did play Just Cause 2 originally before, and the thing that really opens this one up is the wingsuit, because getting around this game world is so ridiculously enjoyable. It's like, why would you ever want to drive a car though? Yeah, it's cool to drive cars in this game. They're really arcadey feeling, and you can do burnouts and donuts and stuff. And you have to actually unlock the cars, but like they give you the wingsuit and the parachute, and you can use the grappling hook. So you use the grappling hook, and then it'll pull you towards something. You hit the parachute button, and then you can go from that parachute button that takes you up like another 1,000 feet, and then you can go right into the wingsuit. So you basically never had to touch the ground if you don't want to.
Cool.
So it makes traversing the game world ridiculously fun. And then they brought in this new feature from 2 called tethering, where you can attach one side of your grappling hook to basically attach two things together, and then you hit a button and you can make those things reel into each other. So you can like make a car hang up on a tower and like hang a bunch of cars on a tower, and then it'll just collapse, and just anything you want to do in this game you can do. And that's exactly what I wanted, a game all about just having fun and just stealing cars.
There needs to
blowing
be?
shit up.
You know what there needs to be? There needs to be a gun. Maybe they can do this in Borderlands 3 when they announce it this E3. But there needs to be a gun that shoots unexploded exploding barrels, which you can then shoot.
That'd be fun. I'd play with that.
That'd be great.
That'd be really cool, actually. Someone do that.
Trademark it right now, Jack. It's your idea. TM.
Yeah.
TM.
Yep, I'm mailing it to myself. Okay.
Nope.
Isn't that kind of already a thing? In some games, I guess you could enter in console commands and you could spawn them.
That's what I was wondering. You could do probably that
but that's
very
not a
thing in
gun.
Just Cause 3.
But that's not a gun.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah,
a
that's
gun specifically, like that would be a cool thing.
Yeah. Just Cause 3 is a game I've always wanted to play because I love Just Cause 2. I loved how shitty the
Same.
story was and how terrible the voice acting was.
Yeah, because no one cares about the story
Yeah,
though. That's not like, I think
It's a
that
sandbox.
Just Cause 3 at the beginning just kind of parodies itself. It's like Rico, come on, we're gonna give you some upgrades. Okay, now just go fuck shit up. Okay, bye.
Nice. And that's kind of all I need. That's all I want out of my Just Cause games.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. All you got to worry about is just blowing shit up, and just keep blowing shit up until you see the credits roll, and then just keep blowing some more shit up. And then as you blow shit up and blow more shit up, they give you more tools to keep blowing shit up. So it's
how's the world?
It's very colorful, a lot of saturated colors, very mountainous. There's like 4 different islands. There's like 3 smaller islands, and then there's one giant like mainland. And the sense of scale in the game is like you liberate the first region on the map, you're like, wow, that's a good portion of the map. and then you zoom out and you realize that's just the island below the giant fucking landmass that you can go liberate. Like, the map is huge.
Dude,
Nice.
I want to play that game. It's just I keep hearing, I get gun shy about the issues I heard about it running on, graphics cards and stuff. So I'll wait because it's always gonna be.
I'm not having any issues, man. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Like,
all right, you're encouraging me further.
And it gets pretty cheap too now on sales. It's like $7 or something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pull the trigger.
So here, let me ask you this question. So when you guys play an open world game, what's like the first thing you want to do?
Get as high as humanly possible, like in the world, not on weed.
But in the game, using in-game weed is what you mean, right?
No, I mean like finding the highest point and getting there. That's like the first.
Yeah,
thing I like to do.
Jack is going with my style because what did I do? As soon as I found a helicopter, I literally drove it to the highest tip of the tallest mountain in the game. I landed on it. I jumped off of it and then wingsuited all the way down to the furthest point in the game that I possibly could.
Nice.
And I actually got an achievement for wingsuiting for over 5 minutes.
Dang.
5 minutes. Jeez.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that game, from what I've heard and what I remember, it was like middlingly successful, right? Like it wasn't a blowout success or anything.
It's never been like a massive breakout series.
It was a major victim of the bad reviews and like people campaigning because it just wasn't running well again when it first launched.
Yeah.
And so it just got really, really hammered on Steam. I think they have since kind of turned it around over the years. But
I think it's been patched. So
yeah. So they they have the histogram reviews now, and now they do like recent reviews and shit. So
yeah, I'd love to see what a Just Cause 4 would look like. I feel like that'd be wild.
I think there will be a
happen.
sequel. I think there will be. I mean, I think 3 did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
Though I wonder how they're going to make it even more ridiculous than it already is.
You can just straight up fly now. You don't even need a wingsuit. You can just launch, like, however.
I mean, yeah, pretty. I mean, but here's the thing, though. Like, on top of that, you can already just like take any airplane or any helicopter you want. Like, it literally was to the point where like I was soaring through the air. I grapple hooked onto a fucking plane in midair and stole it.
Yeah, that's about right.
They made movies like that, you just really feel like a Marvel superhero in that game in a way.
Dude, just wait for the new Fast and the Furious movie. I'm sure it'll happen.
I know,
Fast
right?
and
Like
Furious.
They're gonna give Vin Diesel a grappling hook.
skydiving with tanks.
No shit. Like right before I jumped on this recording, I went all the way to the furthest tip of the smallest island, found a makeshift airport, stole a plane, drove it over to an enemy base where a bunch of like comm towers were, like these really extremely tall comm towers, and there was a big satellite on the top, and I just fucking crashed the plane
Nice.
into the tallest comm tower, right into the satellite dish, and I got a trophy.
This is your 411.
Got him. Too soon?
Yikes.
Got him.
I was listening to 311 while I did it.
Whoa, meta.
Nice. Colin, you and I also played another game, a very bodacious, radical.
I forgot this was a thing.
Heights,
This is like All right. I'll let you say the name of the game, but I need to say something right
He
after.
just did. Radical Heights.
So this is literally, I've come to realize, this is the gamification of a man's midlife crisis made manifest. That's exactly. We're seeing the deconstruction of a man before our eyes, in our hands, on Steam today. We are seeing this, and it is fucking tragic.
So for some background, for those of you who don't know, just because this is very new, like the day it was announced on Monday, which it was received very lukewarm, is putting it very, very nicely. It was kind of downvoted to hell.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so this is Boss Key Studios' new game. You might remember them from that very good hero shooter called Lawbreakers that is still very successful and doesn't have only dozens of people playing it. It has so many players. Yeah, so I guess we're getting a little bit into news. So like earlier this week, Boss Key released this in a notice saying, "Hey, we're going to stop production on Lawbreakers. It didn't turn out as good as we wanted it to." And the entire internet was like, well, no shit.
Let's play a game real quick. Guess how many people are playing Lawbreakers in the planet Earth right now?
4.
3.
You fucking.
You're both wrong, but Colin's right. Bet more right with two people as of the time of recording this are playing Lawbreakers right now.
It's just a 1v1.
More humans on the planet Earth are doing the Tiny Disc podcast than playing Lawbreakers right now. And that's a fucking fact.
That's a real true facts. So yeah, Boss Keys said like, hey, Lawbreakers wasn't so good. Maybe. So we're going to focus on a new passion project that we will reveal later. And then later happened, and then they revealed Radical Heights, which is a super 80s fucking game show battle royale. Yeah, battle fucking royale. That's not the worst thing I've played, actually.
Ah, man. Why?
That's the ironic part is like Robert and I actually kind of had a good time playing it.
Yeah, and it was more so because we made it a good time. Like as a game, it's super early access, super early access. Like the buildings don't even have textures; they're just wireframes.
Yeah, and you don't swim.
It's still like a bitch to run too.
Actually,
and
it ran pretty smoothly for me.
But I mean, it's required specs, right?
It's recommended specs were ridiculous. I don't think we were pushing 60 frames.
No. But I clearly remember.
You can't even swim in the water.
Yeah.
You can't even swim in the water. You walk on the water.
Yeah, I remember
Wow.
when I was playing it with Colin for the first match, I was just running around. I was like, oh, wow, that water doesn't look good. It looks like...
It's
like
blue. It's fucking blue.
Yeah,
like,
it's
take
so
the bluest
blue.
liquid you've ever seen and make it even more blue.
And Colin was just like, wait for it. And I'm like, wait for what? And I start running into the water. And I am now Jesus running on top of the water. Not swimming, because they don't have any texture or animation for that. It's super
At least
early
it's a
access,
free
guys.
game. Why would they? This is how desperate they are to get to wash their hands of Lawbreakers, right? They're like, throw this game out there that could run on a Nintendo 64, like put it on Steam. It's not even finished. Screw it. The water collision isn't even there. Like they're just so desperate. And my question to you is, wouldn't like Lawbreakers being free be the next logical step rather than developing a whole new game? I don't know.
That's what I would think, but I
Wow.
mean, they made a whole new game that is free. You can download it right now. It's the only reason that I decided, yeah, I'll play it. I mean, Colin asked me to, and I was like, yeah, it's free. I'll try it out.
Where are the microtransaction traps?
So it's all customization. It's all like changing what your character looks like. So you can buy rad gems for real world money. It basically breaks down to about $1 for 100 gems, and like the cheapest items in the store are like $2.50. So
Are they seriously called rad gems?
they're called rad gems.
Rad gems. Yep.
Like Jack,
And
have you
if you get the
have you fucking looked at the copy on the Steam page of like what this game is?
I think it's Clifford Blazinski that writes those now at this point.
Have you looked at it?
They're some of the worst descriptions for games on the internet, and that's hard to do.
It's just
Who wants to read it?
Bodacious BMX bikes, tubular third-person gunplay, and other features like play for free.
Oh my god.
Saved by the Bell, Zach Morris, Mr. Belding. You remember that, right?
You get cash is king, and you find it in game, and you spend it on righteous cosmetics.
Righteous cosmetics.
Righteous,
Listen,
bro.
There are cars strewn without the game world, and the only thing you can ride is a bike.
You can only ride bikes. And I want this game to essentially end up being like a bike and skating simulator. Like I want this game to be the new Skate, but is Battle Royale.
Please, yes, please make it bike heavy.
I just came to realize something, guys. That fidget spinner game callback from like episode 13 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It might be a better, more developed, fleshed out game than this thing.
I don't know about this. It's a basic Battle Royale at least. Like it's competent in what it is.
100 people?
Full 100 people. Yeah, you fall in.
You fall in. You don't parachute.
There's no parachute. You're
don't
falling from like
parachute.
a mile high, and then you just dodge roll when you hit the ground.
That's kind of funny. But you get to decide where you land?
Yeah, you decide where you land. And they do something kind of interesting where so instead of like a circular zone closing in, it's like the map is spread up like it's a grid. And when you're first landing, they turn off random grid points, I guess, squares of the map, and it's truly random. Like you could like have a cut through the map that you can't go through or something like that. Like there was one time where Colin and I landed, and we landed in separate places, and we couldn't meet up for like a minute, or else we'd die, like because we had to cross the zone. And then it resets where it's like the outer grids close in on you.
Man, right. I am losing my breath just trying to keep up with all this bodaciousness in one game. I don't know if my fragile mind can handle it, but this is like such a tragic like call for help, right? This is like a plea for help. This is like a suicide note you find. I don't know. It's this is really terrible. It's just so. They're desperate, man. Please give us money, please. We're gonna close.
Here's the thing, though. I kept saying this while me and Robert were playing yesterday, and I'm gonna get skewered by somebody on the internet, probably a lot of people, for saying this. But if this game, give this game some time and let them refine it for a while, which will probably take way too long, most likely. In fact, I almost know it will. To refine itself, kind of work out the kinks, clean it up, like refine the gameplay a little bit, I would play this more than I would like to play Fortnite.
Whoa, what?
Yeah. Like,
really?
Because here's the thing. I also, I like Fortnite, but I don't care for the building mechanic, and this is like a happy medium for me, especially with I'm a sucker for 80s aesthetic. This is like a happy medium between PUBG and Fortnite for me, and plus the games move a lot quicker. Like they have, Robert and I were always commenting on how quick the games moved. You dropped, and then there was 100 people. Next thing you know, you were down to the top 20 before you even knew it. Is extremely quick. And I mean, the idea that you can buy guns while playing, from vending machines, so it's not always a problem of finding good guns because you can just straight up buy them. You can transfer your money over to the next game by saving it in ATMs, which is cool. I mean, there's a lot of features there that have it going for me. It's just the game is just in such rough shape that it's not really giving it a good chance against the other ones. You know what I mean? So
is it compatible?
It has potential.
I'm sure there's gonna be a mobile play, right? There has to be.
Who knows? I mean, it's super early access right now. I think they're only focusing on a PC release.
Extreme early access.
Yeah, literally extreme early access. I'm looking at Steam Spy right now. Actually, yesterday, on the day of launch, April 10th, 8,718 people was the concurrent, peak concurrent players.
Hey.
So, I mean, that's not bad for the first day of a beta. I mean, it's all right, I guess.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free. That's the main thing, right? I want to see where this goes, because I feel like if this game ends up actually being successful, that would be a really wild underdog story for Cliffy B. I don't think it's going to go that well. I think it's going to be oh, it's all right, and then everyone forgets about it. But
yeah, I mean, here's the thing though, I never actually played Lawbreakers, but all the things I heard about it, even though not a lot of people played it, at least I heard the gameplay was really nice. It was tight, it felt good, and they had a good basis for a game there. It's just it just didn't catch on, and they were going for the wrong market.
Yeah, no, I can attest to that. Lawbreakers was hella fun to play, I think.
Right, and so I think they have the same problem. I mean, the game is just released in such a raw state that it can't really exemplify that as much. But I think that being the designers that they have on their team, there is talent there. There's major talent on that team from what I'm seeing. And I think if they just give it time and this can get it to where it needs to be, it'll be a fun game to play. I just don't know if it's the right time. And I mean, it's not. It really isn't, though. Obviously, by the way people have reacted to this game, it's not the right time or place. But I want it to work, though, because I actually enjoyed what I played.
I haven't played it, so full disclosure there. But Boss Key may, in fact, have one of the, if not the worst track record coming into this of any studio that I can think of in recent memory. And I just don't see this necessarily being the Fortnite that they are hoping for.
Yeah, I can't be optimistic, but I wish the best for them though. I really hope it works out.
I agree. I hope for the best for them, but I don't think the game is going to reach the radical heights that they think it will.
There was a time where that was a very coveted company to work for. There was a time where everyone was looking to work at Bosky. Like they had all the buzz, and they have just squandered every ounce of that at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't know if it's gonna get it back. Came out with Lawbreakers. Wasn't Lawbreakers their first game, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, they just didn't stick the landing.
Yeah, they tried so hard to build a lot of buzz around Lawbreakers too. I remember their PR and marketing for it. Went back like a year or two before the game actually came out. So they had a good chance.
Yeah, they had Greg Miller on to announce that they're doing it on PS4, that they were releasing it on PS4.
And then they fucked it up on release and made it like a really obtuse game to understand. But I will say, I think Radical Heights is worth a play because it's free. And there's something magical about playing that while listening to a synthwave playlist on Spotify. It feels very right. It feels like one of the best things you could do on a good Sunday night or something.
Wow, I'm surprised you guys are so high on this game, honestly.
I'm radically high.
They call the cheeseburger a Royale with cheese in this game. All right?
That's true.
So
you just eat cheeseburgers for health.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's the epitome of 80s superficial American consumerism.
So it's like Blood Dragon.
Yeah, that's kind
of pretty Blood Dragon-y.
And I'll admit easily that like part of the reason I am giving this game a lot of passes is because it's playing on like this 80s nostalgia, right? Because like the 80s was a cool time. Like, I mean, living through it, maybe not as much, right? But like looking back on it, right? The 80s was like a really cool synthy time, right? Like it was rad to be alive in the 80s, bro. It was the tubular decade, and this game is fucking playing on that super hard. No, like when you buy a gun, there's a song that plays. And when Colin bought one, I was like, did they just play fucking Danger Zone? And he was like, no, they played a fake version of Danger Zone.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's making me feel cringy more than anything. This might be the cringiest game I'm here. I don't know.
Oh, it totally is, but I think it knows it though.
Yeah.
It totally knows it. Like, yeah. Like, and I mean, if you buy the founders pack or whatever, you can make your character look like John Rambo.
I'll say this: if the game is still around, like in people's consciousness, and people are talking about it, like in a month, maybe I'll try it out. But until then,
yeah,
you fooled me once with Lawbreakers.
Yeah, I think it should take a couple more months in the oven to see where it goes. I think with a studio like Bosky, like they at least, like if anything, they at least are dedicated to their turds. They kept releasing update after update.
Dude, are you going to make turd dedication like the title of this episode?
No. But I'm just saying, like they're dedicated to it, right? Like I think even if Radical Heights flops for a while, they're still going to keep pumping out update after update to try and make it better.
How are they keeping the lights on around there? That's what I want to know.
Gears of War money. That Gears of War money. Phoenix, whatever his fucking face is.
Gears of War 5 residuals.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's a trick. Cliffy B actually gets 25 cents every time someone says Gears of War.
Yeah. Anytime anyone compares the chainsaw and the shotgun to peanut butter and chocolate, an angel gets their wings.
And Cliffy B is an angel.
Yes.
So he's selling all those extra wings.
All right.
That's where he gets the money. I like Radical Heights was the one game that I played with Colin. I did beat Far Cry 5 over the weekend, and that game
has a cheeseburger.
Huh?
That game has a cheeseburger.
Yeah, it does. It has a bear named Cheeseburger who fucking mauls things, except for he dies super easy. I mean, he's a bit.
Oh, I thought you just spoiled the game.
No, he dies super easy when you like pull him out, and it's like, well,
does he come back though?
Yeah. It takes like 12 minutes for a follower, like when they die.
Okay.
They respawn in like 12 minutes or something.
My heart just skipped a beat there. I thought you spoiled the game. I was like, Cheeseburger dies? No.
No. For someone who didn't give a shit about the story, that struck a chord with you. Cheeseburger dies.
Yeah. Well, when there's a fucking bear named Cheeseburger, I'm paying attention.
I learned more things about Cheeseburger. He has diabetes. This bear has diabetes because he loves barbecue, and he ate so much sweet barbecue sauce that he has diabetes now.
Dude, I love the descriptions in Far Cry. They're so good, and they all the way back to Far Cry 3. They're hilarious if you go in there and read them.
Yeah,
they're
Far
worth
Cry
the time.
Yeah, the Far Cry 5 like weapons and item shop, like it's always fun reading the descriptions. They do a lot of like play on words and stuff, which is really nice. The main thing I did want to talk about though with beating the game is just like my impressions of the final 2 lieutenants that I didn't talk about, and then the ending, which is fucking wild as all hell.
No spoilers.
I'll try my best. So I'll say that probably the best part of the game is the lieutenant who's like the sister. Her name's Faith, because she's basically drugs. Like she is the epitome of drugs and hallucination. So like every experience you have with her and around her is actually like kind of interesting and wacky and kind of makes you think like, did that just really happen or did I just get high? What the fuck? So I think the game is like it's worth playing through that story, if anything, because it's just interesting. The most interesting I think the game has to offer. The other lieutenant I fought, Jacob, who's the very like we destroy the weak, we kill the weak, because when you kill the weak, it makes the herd stronger, and we are animals, and we love to be strong because only the strong get to fuck and move forward in life and create youngins. Like he's very evolutionary, right?
Okay.
And I love how stupid the Far Cry writing is, because like with every load screen they show you like an image of the lieutenant of like whatever region you're in, because it's split into like 3 different areas. It shows you the lieutenant and then like a quote of something they say, and every time it's like, this is the shittiest fucking thing. Like that one Call of Duty game where every time you died in the campaign they show you a quote from like Gandhi or like Colin Powell or something. That was better than whatever this was, because like some of the quotes are like, I call the herd, it's what I do. Like that's it. And it's like, how is this inspiring or whatever the fuck you're trying to go for? But I will say the ending is worth watching on YouTube like right now, if you're not gonna, because like it'll take you like 20 plus hours to get to it in the game, and it's fucking buck wild.
I don't think I'm going to spoil the game for myself. I think I'm going to get it when it gets cheaper.
I mean, if you say so. Like for me, it was one of the, like they give you 2 options, you know, like an A or B, and like they make it very obvious that like B is like non-canon because they only dedicate like a minute of like after you make that decision, it's like a minute until the credits roll. But when you make the other decision, it's like there's a full-on game sequence and, you know, like all that kind of stuff. Like it's very clear they wanted ending A to be like, this is it, this is the real ending. And it's just so, it's one of those endings that truly comes the fuck out of nowhere. Like there's no way you would expect it, unless, because like a lot of the gaming websites out there, like GameSpot, IGN, Polygon, they published a lot of stories like, this is Far Cry 5's ending and it's really, really stupid, or it's like stupid crazy. And it was to the point where the Far Cry 5 devs reached out and was like, actually, this is why the ending isn't stupid.
Weird.
And the reason was because it was foreshadowed by the radio shows in the cars that you would have heard when you drive the cars around from mission to mission.
Weird.
That's the only foreshadowing. Like there's nothing hinted at it in like the cutscenes you're forced to watch. It's literally just the radio when you're driving, and it's like, who's going to fucking drive a car when you could like wingsuit and like
and
parachute?
helicopters?
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's like really dumb. I just and for them to pin like this huge twist ending on like, you should have been listening to the radio, is like, what the fuck are you doing? What is this? This is stupid.
Weird.
Like I prefer the B ending where it was like just a minute of stuff. I actually think that was a better ending than the main one.
So it dropped the ball.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, okay. I thought you were on it. I thought you were like hype on it.
No, it's stupid. I mean, like, there's part of me that likes it just because I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't expect him to go in that direction. But it's also like, this is so stupid. Like they went in a stupid direction in terms of like they went too far M. Night Shyamalan.
I
mean, is this souring you on it? Do you want me to just spoil it for you? Because I want to see your face.
No, I want to watch it.
No, don't M. Night Shyama doobie doobie me on right now.
Gosh, you evil man. The game's brand new.
Come on, it's so good. It's just it's an experience. It's something worth talking about.
So Reddit's for.
Listen, man, dude, you don't ruin an M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong ending for someone.
And the
all
fact
right?
you said there is a twist is a spoiler, by the way.
I mean, sure, but it's not like you know what the twist is.
All right. Fine.
I mean, did you know what the twist was in Signs? I mean, come on.
Does anyone know what the twist is in Signs?
Oh yeah, that movie A Quiet Place part Signs too. So.
Oh fuck. Okay, now I have to see it.
Nice.
Does it have Mel Gibson in it screaming, "We're gonna kick your ass"?
There's white guys screaming in it. Yes.
Nice.
Oh, swing for the fences, Meryl.
So that's all I've got for Far Cry. Just an update about like, man, that ending is real weird. To this day, I still don't know if I like it or not. I'm on the fence about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drop $60 on it.
Yeah, I mean,
Not 60, 30.
I mean,
oh, wait.
it's fun. The game overall is very fun. I'll say that. It has the same feeling of like, oh, I can wingsuit everywhere. I can shoot up whatever and all that. Like, it's cool.
I'll bet you in a week or two it'll be $40.
Maybe we'll have to see. I mean, it's like the second best selling Ubisoft game for something like that, from what I remember seeing.
Dude, they're on fire. That studio is. Don't fucking look them over. They're doing big things. They're kind of picking up where EA dropped off.
He says after he said Far Cry is going to be $40 next week. Watch, because that game sucks.
No, but I'm saying look at their track record though, man. They are selling units. They're selling, they're supporting Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six is a big thing now.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
whoever would have thought that?
I mean, I'm excited for Division 2. That's where I'm sitting at right now.
I'm not saying they make the best games. I'm just saying they're selling the most units. They're doing what EA wishes they could do. They probably Far Cry 5 probably beat Battlefront 2's full units moved in the first day probably.
Right, but you do have to remember EA still has the whole FIFA and Madden, and those sell like fucking hotcakes every year.
Right, when you corner the market, yeah. No, I hear you, but I'm just saying Ubisoft has the goodwill, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like they're probably my favorite AAA studio. I can think
Third-party
of.
developer. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, maybe me too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I think that's all I've got for games. I think that's all that we all have for games. So let's move on to talking about some news that happened in the past week.
Let's do a lightning round because there's a shit ton of news that happened.
Yeah, of course. Quick thing. The Persona 5 anime did drop last weekend. Just thought I'd follow up since we mentioned it last week. Did you guys watch that first episode?
I did.
Nope.
Rip.
I was impressed with how faithful it was to the game. You do not have to play the game if you're watching this anime.
Yeah.
You really don't.
I mean, it tells the story a lot faster. I'll give it that. I'm really curious to see how it's going to turn out when because when you dungeon crawl in the game, like story beats pop up during your dungeon crawling, right? I'm curious to see how they're going to do that in an anime. If they're just going to blaze through it, or if they're going to have like kind of longer scenes of like, oh, they're going through a dungeon and they're going to fight this guy and fight that guy and all that,
I mean, it's good, but it's very like. I mean, there's only one episode in, right? I can't really make a full judgment on the series yet, but it's very colored by the numbers to me. It's very like, hey, did you play this game? You know exactly what to expect. There's zero surprises here. It's staying in between the lines. It's very, very, this is what happened in this game and nothing more. So I wish it would like add stuff to people that actually have beat the game, where I'm sure a bunch of people that have played the game to its entirety are interested in watching this anime. So I wish it was almost for that crowd rather than people that don't know shit about Persona 5.
I'm part of, like, one hand I can agree, but I've also seen, like, the Persona 4 anime is pretty much the exact same. It follows the entire game. Like, if you played Persona 4 and beat it, you've seen the anime, which...
And then Persona 4 Golden was for people that already beaten it, right? Like the animated series?
And then they made an anime of Persona 4 Golden, where they animated the extra stuff that happens in P4G.
Right.
So I'm thinking Persona 5's anime is going to be the same thing, where it follows the main story of Persona 5, which I'm okay with, just because I like the story a lot and I don't mind seeing like what their vision would be when it's animated, especially for like big boss fights and stuff.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be cool to see.
What if it ends where like at the end of the anime, it's like, hey guys, did you hear they're making a video game of us? And it turns out it's the game itself. It just gets really fucking meta.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, like, do you like, what the fuck was that? Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase? At the end of the movie, they're like, hey, they made a video game of us after they were in a video game. And then there's an actual video game of that movie where they're in a video game.
Colin, you pull the fucking weirdest references.
That's a deep cut, dude.
Listen, that motherfucking game, that's one hard PlayStation 1 game.
No,
Scooby-Doo?
I believe it.
Yeah. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, it had no reason to be that hard.
Do you think it's easy being a dog and a detective?
You telling me, are you telling me, Colin, that I know a man that spent a appreciable amount of time playing Scooby-Doo on PlayStation 1?
Yes, you do. And here's the kicker. I didn't have a memory card.
Holy shit.
So you had to play it in one sitting.
That's why it was hard. You couldn't save
And I
the
never
game.
could. I never could because it's so fucking hard.
So you never knew who was under the monster mask.
I mean, I saw the movie.
I feel your pain, man. I was one of those poor kids with the PS, 3 or no, what was that? Just PlayStation, right? PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And the console was $300 when it first came out, and that's not cheap, especially back then. That's like $600 in 2018 bucks. But anyways, I didn't have a memory card for a long time, and I also had this misconception like, oh, you mean you can save your games on the memory card? Like you can save your game and like, pick it up and put the memory card in someone else's PlayStation and play the game, right? That's kind of like what I thought you could do because people said you could save your games. And then I was like, whoa, I guess that technology will never exist. And now look at us with those mini SDs like the size of your pinky nail. Half the size, you could store, fucking Skyrim on it if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's insane at this point. I don't even know anymore. Just
Blows my mind.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Technology's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Dude, in my Switch, I have like a 245 gig something, mini SD. It's
Probably
like small as shit.
256.
Something like that, yeah.
Dude, my uncle's gaming computer when I was growing up had a 20 gig hard drive, and that was a huge deal at the time.
Yeah, it was
That's
massive,
wild.
yeah. I remember seeing old magazines too, like old magazine ads for like a 56 kilobyte hard drive. Is like the size of a fucking Chrysler. You know what I mean? It's just like what, like you had to use punch cards and shit. I don't know. I don't even know how it works.
Are we done playing back in my day?
Sorry guys.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is possibly the highest grossing piece of media ever.
Treating me like a piece of media.
Yeah, no, according to this one, place called Market Watch, or no, not Market Watch.
The Hausers are the Walton family of gaming.
What?
The Hauser brothers. You know how fucking filthy rich they are?
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
So those are the people that's who created GTA. I take it.
I'll bet you. Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Hauser brothers. Yeah, they're the ones who run the Rockstar. So I'll bet you they got fucking like Zuckerberg money, dude. I'll bet you they do.
I mean, so get this. So according to Cohen, which is just like a media analysis company, Grand Theft Auto 5 has shipped 90 million copies and has made $6 billion in revenue since its release in 2013.
That's with a B, my friends.
Yeah.
3 times the amount of like the highest grossing movie ever.
Yes, it's insane how much money they've made. No other no other book, film, video game, TV show has made this much money.
People
Dude,
still are buying. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly what Jack was about to say. I mean, you look at monthly sales statistics for video games, and GTA 5 is still breaking the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was going to say is people are still just buying a console just for GTA 5. They're still doing it. They're still buying Xbox One S's and GTA 5. They're still buying PS3 Slims and GTA 5. And that's it. Yeah. It's the GTA box. It's beyond phenomenon. Phenomenon does not even begin to describe it. I remember this back in 2001 when the first GTA 3 came out. It was doing the same thing, man. But
the first GTA 3, I didn't know it was a GTA 3 too.
There's a GTA 3, right? And then there's Liberty City Stories and
yeah, like those.
I asked Liberty City Stories.
Yeah,
but that's a PSP game. It doesn't count.
It got re-released anyway. It doesn't matter. So, so GTA 3, set the stage, and I think GTA 5 is probably the best one.
Yep.
Of all of them. My personal favorite though, just because of the setting and the characters, is definitely San Andreas. But like we can't. We're not
just
gonna
follow the trade, CJ.
I just can't even think of anything that even comes close. Did they say what might be second place?
For games? No.
Yeah, you can only speculate. Maybe Minecraft. Who knows?
Right. Like, for example, Star Wars, like the Star Wars franchise or like Gone with the Wind, they made around like $3 billion when you adjust for like inflation and stuff, which is still only half the amount of money GTA 5 has made. And
I remember Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, it kind of suffers from the Skyrim effect where there's like multiple releases, right? Like there was the PS3 360 release, and then they released it again for PS4, Xbox One, and they released it again for PC, right? So there are some people who could have inevitably bought that game 3 times.
And then inevitably here comes the Switch version.
Oh shoot!
There'll be a Switch version of something.
I almost guarantee there will be a Switch version.
Will this be
They
the
just
first
came
time
out with
GTA
LA
comes
Noir
to
on
Nintendo
Switch.
system?
Rockstar did.
This will be the first time, right?
A GTA on Nintendo?
Yeah, I can't think of a GTA on a Nintendo system. They
might
did
be.
Manhunt 2 on Wii,
Yes, they did. You're right.
Yeah.
but that's all I can think about.
You might be right.
I mean, yeah, they have LA Noir on Switch now, though, so which is why it wouldn't surprise me if there's GTA 5.
Totally,
on
I totally
Agreed.
think so. They would. I mean, Dark Souls is coming out, so
Yeah, soon too.
never thought that would happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
in May. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. So let's switch gears here and talk a little about the Overwatch League, which is just a shit show.
The Owl. It's the NFL of esports.
It's almost worse. Like, I feel like every day I see a story of like, this person was a racist on stream. This person got signed off the team. This person, you know, is just a bad man person.
Well, I mean, think about, and we've talked about this before, but like think about like how bad online gaming communities are in general, right? Like a big point of concession has always been how bad the League of Legends community is, how toxic it is. It was a big reason why I quit playing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it wasn't like the only reason. I mean, I'm terrible at the game, just being completely frank. But like, they have whole teams dedicated to basically quote unquote detoxifying the community. Now, take that. You have something like Overwatch League, which is basically taking a giant spotlight and shining it on online gaming communities. And it's just going to happen.
And
this is just bound to happen.
Also, Overwatch has its own toxicity issues in and of itself. Like, I have definitely, had my enjoyment of the game ruined by some people just acting the fool, and just wanting to like show off and shit.
Yeah.
To whatever. And so, that's definitely reduce the time I spend playing that game. And you still run into them periodically. They are taking steps, but like you said, Colin, this is just really kind of putting a microscope.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, under the community, man. And some of the best players, it doesn't matter. Skill level is not directly proportional to manners, I guess.
Yeah,
you could say, or tact.
And I only bring this up because it's recent news that Dream Casper, who plays for Boston Uprising, he was suspended by the Overwatch League recently because of allegations of sexual misconduct involving a minor, which is just like like extra like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Damn, dude. Damn.
And like on Monday, Boston Uprising was like, hey, this contract that you signed that keeps you with us? Never mind. We're just gonna toss it out. It's gone.
Wow.
You're off the team.
Like what do you do though? Like if you're someone who dedicates their life to becoming just insanely skilled at this video game, and it nets you a job that pays insanely well, like on par with some lower tier pro athletes in regular sports, and you say something stupid or you do something stupid and then it's gone. That's it. It's over. You had your run.
Yeah, that's
it's
why
done.
I don't get it. Like if you got a job where it's like, hey, so you're gonna play video games in front of like a huge audience, and we're also gonna be recording every piece of video. So basically, you're a public persona at this point. My first thought wouldn't be, okay, but I still get to diddly like little girls, right?
Ew.
Right? Like, no, that's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, stop it.
Okay, that threw me off. Are they technically Blizzard employees?
No, I don't believe so.
No.
Like it's a team that like Blizzard runs the league, right? But these teams sign on to the league. I don't think they're paid. Like Jeff Kaplan doesn't go to their house and give them a check every week.
So each team is its own like LLC.
I don't know that far in. I don't know. Like,
I'm just curious, I mean, because if they're Blizzard employees, then that's a whole nother thing.
Because I know these athletes, they have a contract with the team itself. They don't like the
Right.
players don't talk to Blizzard and have a contract with Blizzard.
Okay.
So I mean, that's, I guess, maybe
It's sloppy though. It's just poor form. It's like the league is brand new and it's already like sullied and muddy and gross and slimy. I really hate that
yeah, and I don't know,
because
man.
I like watching those games.
It's just a shame because I mean, not to say like I want video game sports to be above, like athletic sports in any way, but it's like, like have a sense of character, and I'm saying this both for athletic sports players as well as video game sports people. Like, you're kind of role models for people in one way or another. So why are you going to beat your wife? Why are you going to be a racist when you get drunk? Like, why would you do any of that?
Right.
It's because they I mean, at least in the mindset of pro athletes in the past, it's you make that much money and you just think you're above everyone else. You think that you're in a position of power and that you can get away with anything. I don't know. I think it's a huge part of it's the psychological aspect of that.
Yeah.
I would be curious to see how much money that they're making as well. I think like isn't the grand prize for 5 of them like $250K, right? So they're probably making like maybe 20 grand a piece.
Yeah,
after everything.
That's not bad. But
it's not, no, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's also not like the millions and millions that like Dota or StarCraft players were making in the golden age of the sport.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that people are getting themselves in situations that they can't Alt F4 themselves out of, and it's like, you just got to make better decisions.
Damn it,
man.
Robert!
You got to strategize. You got to know when to capture the point. It's just, don't be a dummy about this.
I mean, do they not have rules with like sportsmanlike conduct or anything like that? Like, I don't know the details, but
I'm sure there are like contracts they have to sign in terms of just like how they have to act on Twitter and on Facebook and all that stuff, like their public persona.
I mean, they're role models to. There's no doubt about it. They're role models to little kids. Little kids look up to them,
and that's the thing. It's like you gotta be above that kind of stuff, man. You play a game, you win. You gotta be a good winner, and you can't be a sore loser. You know what I mean. You gotta shake hands afterwards, and you gotta keep your head up and just be a good sportsman. That's just all there is to it. I mean, if there's one thing that I learned playing, high school sports and being a football boy, it was that like, sportsmanship is a very important thing. It really is.
100%.
I mean, yeah, no one's life should be ruined from something like that. It's ridiculous.
Being a good sportsman on and off the field, by the by.
Exactly.
Yes, Dad.
Okay. All right. I have one more news story for you guys, and I think it's just interesting. It's actually a couple news stories bundled into one, but like it has a few implications. So we always talk about like, oh, is the 3DS dead yet, or is it still going to happen? We've got news kind of recently about like Nintendo releasing a new 3DS game in 2019. Like they have release windows that far out, but two pretty big franchises that are normally 3DS mainstays have announced like their new games in their franchise, and it's not painting a great picture for the future of the 3DS. So Yokai Watch, Yokai Watch 4 was announced, and it's for the Switch, not for 3DS. There's no plans or inkling of a 3DS release.
That'll be huge in Japan.
Yeah,
makes sense.
And then Etrian Odyssey, which isn't as big a deal, but it's still another Atlas owned. It's an Atlas owned, RPG. That was also 3DS exclusive, and they have announced today on Wednesday that Etrian Odyssey Cross, which is just an X, which I fucking hate that because like they use Roman numerals on all of their game titles. You can't just go from a 5 to an X without it being 10 and not cross. Like I hate that. But they've announced that that's going to be a new game, and it's the last brand new Etrian title for 3DS.
Meaning they're going to go to Switch next.
That's maybe an implication.
I can't believe they're even putting this one on 3DS.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, fuck you guys. I want it on the Switch.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I mean, map drawing is such an integral part to that series. So is the game on Switch going to come with a stylus to use? Because there isn't one by default.
I mean, I'd use it for sure.
You need it for that game. I can't imagine that game without a stylus.
Yeah, or maybe they might like change the way that you do mapping in that game, or something
That would
like
suck.
that. Yeah, I mean, I'd still be very eager to see what their thoughts would be in making an Etrian game for Switch.
Motion controls.
But as of now, like, there's nothing, right? Like, that's not happening because this Etrian game is coming out on 3DS, and it's supposedly the last brand new Etrian game for 3DS. So to me, that paints this picture of like, even mainstay RPGs now are kind of jumping ship from the 3DS. Like,
when is that scheduled to release?
Etrian Odyssey Cross is set to release August this year.
So it's one of the last.
Yokai Watch 4, I'm not 100% on. But and also E3 last year, right? The Pokemon company was like, hey, the next Pokemon game is going to be on Switch, right?
Yeah,
so,
get fucked, everybody.
Yeah, so that's another big 3DS RPG that's, scheduled for the Switch instead of the 3DS now.
Not dead yet. Hey, I just thought of something. We're talking about Switch. Is that tennis game coming out this month?
Mario Tennis?
Mario Tennis
Yeah.
Aces.
I don't know. I don't follow bad-looking games, but I can check.
No, it's a great-looking game. You're wrong, actually, about that.
June 22.
It's a great game because it's Mario and it's tennis. And
you
it's
get
Mario, too.
And you get Luigi's Wang in it, which is pretty
And it's
important.
tennis. Yeah, I mean, he's packing the heat, dude.
Yeah.
He's coming with the thunder.
Yeah, boy.
That game's coming out June
Luigi
22,
Bulge.
so we still got 2 months. 2 months until your Switch is relevant again.
Okay. I'm jumping the gun.
You got a little excited. Luigi's Wang, I need it.
Yes. Always. Who doesn't?
Yeah. But no, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Curious what you guys think of, like, I mean, do you even play your 3DS anymore?
No, it's dusty. I have an awesome case for it too. I have like a custom, like legit, like custom leather case. It's one of the nicest cases for any electronics I own. I love my 3DS. I got so much enjoyment out of it. Man, it's one of my favorite, maybe my favorite handheld of all time. Maybe, honestly. The DS was fantastic too, the DS Lite. But no, I haven't played it since I moved to Austin in, August 2016. Sadly.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
the truth.
I'm playing
Wait, no, I take that back. I'm sorry, I played Metroid.
Yeah, you did.
Nerd.
I don't know. Tales of the Abyss is like, I haven't played it too much since the last time I talked about it, but like I've been putting a good amount of time on my 3DS. It's the first time in a long time. And I have plenty of good games to play on my 3DS yet that I would like to get through, but I don't know. It's like it's just like me whenever, though. I'm so split between 5 million different things. I have not put like a dedicated amount of time on my Switch in a long time, though. I will say that. Like, aside from picking up on a couple things in Zelda here and there, and then playing Rocket League, I haven't put a decent amount of time on my Switch until Mario Odyssey. So
Right.
So I was talking about Mario Odyssey to somebody who has the game, has not beat it yet. Not the longest game, but I was telling him, like, listen, man, after thinking about it, the last level in Super Mario Odyssey might be one of the best levels ever. Like, levels, just ever in any game, in my opinion.
Are you talking like level design or the way it made you feel?
I'm talking about not necessarily, I mean, yeah, I guess all the above, but like the way that you traverse as well. I don't want to spoil it, but like the creature that wears your hat and you like flick it and all that.
Ooh, he's got a sneeze.
Sneeze.
I was able to mute my good cover for me, guys. Thanks. Just called out.
But, oh man, he's about to sneeze. Watch him mute his mic.
We're a professional podcast. Yeah.
Let's listen to the mic be muted.
We've been doing this for a while. So no, remember where you're like I can't remember what it's called, but like the bird with the long beak and you're like flicking yourself up and stuff.
Yeah.
That was one of the coolest things ever, man. I don't know. I think the last level in Super Mario Odyssey is a masterclass in level design and gameplay design.
I mean, that whole game is like level design from a level design perspective is insane. It's insane how much thought went into the level design and everything, every aspect, because of how much they changed gameplay from level to level.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, that's the reason that game is so fresh, but we probably don't need to tell you, like, hey, Mario Odyssey is a good game. Buy it.
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
Everyone
Yeah.
knows that,
Right. We've been over this.
Yeah. So let's move on to the final round of our podcast here. Let's go to the question of the week. So I think we came up with one kind of together during our Monday meeting, right? That we
I
all
wanted to
kinda
ask
decided.
it, though. I want to be the one to ask it.
Okay, fine. Jack thought of it all up on his own.
Robert and Colin.
I
PlayStation
secretly
5?
don't remember what the question is.
PlayStation 5, question mark.
It doesn't exist.
What are your wants and needs? What do you need? Is it going to be discussed at E3 in a couple months? What do you think is going to happen? Like, what do you think you want it to have, and then what do you think it's going to have?
First of all, E3, no. Will it come out next year? No.
All of 2019, you don't think it'll come out?
They might. There's a vague chance that they could talk about it at E3.
It'll be PlayStation 4 will be 6 years old at that point, won't it?
Yeah, but I mean, PS4 Pro came out in late 2016, and they're riding that wave still.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a little soon. And I mean, PS4 just had a great holiday season this past season, so sales aren't to the point where they're quite dwindling yet. And there's a lot of great PS4 exclusives coming out this year. So I don't really see a reason to pull off focus of the PS4 this year. Another aspect that is going to factor into the PS5 as well is the huge rise in graphics cards price because of cryptocurrency mining. So I don't think it would be a smart financial move on PlayStation's part right now, on Sony's part, because it would just cost so much for manufacturing. With those graphics cards, so even if it's a modified version, because actually what's happening right now, the I think it's part of some of the memory components that they use in the internals of graphics cards. A lot of that's actually being bought up at a premium price by cell phone manufacturers, Google Google with Android. So Samsung and like Apple, they're buying up a lot of that stuff, which is another reason why the graphics card market is only going up in price. But yeah, PS5, I don't really think it's I don't really see it coming out this year, and I don't even think it might not even come out next year. So
see, I want the PS5 to have a graphics card so powerful that everyone can mine Bitcoin with it and actually have it be profitable. I feel like that'd be a great future in the world. Basically, Sony's going to release a money-making machine, so everyone's going to buy a bunch of those. One of the bonus features, I guess, is that'll play games, which would be cool. But the Bitcoin would kind of probably be the mainstay for me. But really speaking, I think what the PS5, if and or when it comes out, I'd want to see it come out with a good launch title or two, instead of just like, here's Detroit Become Human remastered. Here's Days Gone remastered, and here's Last of Us remastered.
They can't afford a PS4 launch. That's just not what the climate's going to look like when this console comes out. Because the reason why they could get away with that is because they knew what the Xbox's plan was looking like on launch, right? Not a lot of exclusives. It was coming out at $100 more expensive price point, so they knew they weren't going to have much competition on release. So they basically released PS4, and they came out with what, Last of Us Remastered? Wasn't that a launch title? I don't
think so.
Knack and Killzone Shadowfall.
Fucking Knack.
I think that was like the launch titles, right? Killzone Shadowfall, Knack. Am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing one.
I mean, the fact that we're
2K.
not thinking of it shows how.
Yeah, I think that was a product of the times. The biggest, the first big exclusive that PS4 even had was Bloodborne, and that was what, almost 2 years after the fact, year and a half. And so I don't know. So with PS5, yes, needs to have launch titles, needs to have 4K, like near absolute 4K like gaming capabilities at the time of its release, because if it's not that big of a jump, there's not much of a point, in my opinion. Like, that's the thing. Like, what really would we want out of a PS5 power-wise that the PS4 Pro can at least almost do? You know what I mean? So they'd have to get to a point where there's been enough time and the technology gets cheap enough where they can manufacture something that's pretty damn powerful in a console. I mean, it would have to at least meet or exceed Xbox One X.
Does it have a physical a physical disk drive?
Yes.
Really?
Because as long as GameStop keeps chugging along, as long as they're selling physical copies, and as long as people are buying physical media, they're going to continue to have a disk drive.
I would love to see Sony maybe switch over to cartridges to give me more things to lick. Other than that, I mean, no matter what, there's going to be some way where you can physically buy the game and physically insert something into the PS5. I don't think that's going away anytime soon.
1 terabyte, is that gonna be enough?
No, it had to be 2 terabyte minimum.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, that's not going to change the fact that like the physical market is still big enough where Sony knows it'd be a detriment if they didn't have one.
USB-C. Will it have it? Will it have something else?
I
mean, I don't see what
for the controllers.
USB-C. I think storage is going to be a huge issue though, because we're getting to the point where games truly are like getting huge. I mean, the whole thing with Final Fantasy 15 being over 100 gigs or whatever, like if that starts becoming like a thing, right, with games coming out with 4K, even 8K in-game textures, right? Like we're gonna need bigger storage. That's just the gist of it. Like, and especially 2 years, like say 2 years from now, if that's when it gets released.
That was my next question. Is it going to be 4K native or is it going to be higher?
4K native.
Yeah.
It's 4K native is still hardly achievable in a lot of games on PC right now.
Right, and isn't the PS4 Pro upscaled 4K, not true 4K?
Yeah, it's upscaled in a lot of games. Yeah, Xbox One X is a lot more consistent, but
it depends on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see what else questions I can think of off the top of my head.
Will we see a hybrid console from Sony?
Oh, here's what I want to know: is it going to play PS3 and 4 games, or is it going to, or will PlayStation 5 games be playable on PlayStation 4 at lower resolutions, etc.?
Do you mean like how Persona 5 released like a PS3 version and a PS4 version?
Right. Our game's gonna come out on all systems.
We're gonna have ports. We're gonna have like the PS4 version and then the PS5 version for a lot of games for a good while. I kind
of want to have the PS3 version of Persona 5. Is that the last PS3 game?
It's up there. It's close.
I feel like that'd be a collector's item.
I mean, there's PS3 games of the last 2 Yakuza games.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I mean, but like how I don't see what the logical reason is though for a PS5 right now. Like seriously, what's the real reason that you would need a PS5 right now?
It's a new toy. That's about it.
You fucking liar. If they came out with it tomorrow, you'd be in fucking line. Shut up. You'd be thinking about what you can trade in and shit to get it.
No,
Listen.
I would not give a shit if they just said we have a PS5. I'd give a shit if they were like we have a PS5 and our launch title is something really good.
Dude, I would be interested in it just for the being that douche on eBay resale value. That's alone right there is attractive.
Well, here's the thing. Of course, I'm gonna go out and buy it because I'm just like an enthusiast level gamer.
Right.
I mean, that's just the level that I'm at because I'm definitely the demographic to go out and buy a console. I mean, shit, if I had the extra money to burn right now, I would own an Xbox One X. Like,
you know what?
Legitimately.
You were talking about the graphics card market like being so stupid and out of reach now. The Xbox One X is looking better every day. For the power that it has.
It's kind of true. Like, honestly, though.
It's looking like good value now, $500 in a way.
It kind of is, though. Like, I'm not going to lie. They might have just played their cards right based on that market. So, I mean, I see I feel like it's slowly gaining a little bit more traction as time goes on. It's definitely not anything to the level of crazy sales, but just
as someone with a 4K TV, I am not.
Robert's over here shaking his head like
I'm
a motherfucker.
I'm not closed off the idea of owning one, and they had a good sale on eBay too, and I almost pulled the trigger.
I fucking hate cryptocurrency because it's making you guys think, hey, maybe the Xbox One X ain't that bad.
It is a good value compared if you're looking at 4K
it's a good
gaming.
value hardware wise. That's just the truth of it.
And
it
that makes cryptocurrency the fucking devil.
Let me tell you this, guys. Let me tell you this. They've been working on
Xbox.
this. They've been working on this for a while. This might be the first you heard of it, but they've been talking about mouse and keyboard support on Xbox. And if that fucking comes to Xbox One X, it's a game changer. Literally.
I mean, that make it a slightly powerful PC.
Mouse and keyboard support, and if they give you an actually decent OS, shit. That's gonna be something to think about.
I mean, it's an impressive piece of hardware for $500. I mean, you have to admit.
Yeah, I would probably buy that rather than build my own PC. Believe it or not.
Do I need to play the literal hours of tape I have of you guys being like, but why would you buy an Xbox One X? Where's the software?
This is all because of cryptocurrency.
No, it literally is. I mean, I'm not going to take back anything I said. Like everything I said was definitely relevant. At the very least at the time. But like I mean, I'm not. If I'd have $500 in my bank right now to burn, probably not going to be my first choice to of things to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crossed my mind more than twice in the last 6 months.
I don't have like a literal purpose for it right now. But like if I was like sitting on a pretty good amount of money and I just had some money to burn, yeah, I'll fucking throw some money at an Xbox, whatever.
For me, Sunset Overdrive and Rare Replay upscale to 4K is enough of a reason.
I mean, it's not going to justify for me, but good on you, Jack.
We're going to end the show there then.
Yes.
God, I don't know.
It's basically a cheaper PC.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still keep thinking about like, but what game am I going to play on there? I don't give a shit.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
Rare Replay is the best game.
It's the best game ever, hands down.
Rare Replay.
Of any game.
Battletoads.
So if you have any questions, comments, feedback, concern, or anything you want us to read live on this pre-recorded show, you can email us any of that at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to follow all of our social media links, you can find them all at tinydisc.com, which is also where all of our previous wonderful, beautiful episodes are, if you want to check those out. If you enjoyed what we did, consider leaving us an iTunes review of any kind. It'd really help us out, way more than you think. If not, grassroots, tell a friend. Shit. Man, I keep thinking of some that I did a few weeks ago. Man.
You're dropping the ball.
I really am. It's hard to come up with these on the spot every time. Okay, I got it. So drive an hour away to the nearest like big city that isn't whatever place you live in, and walk into the nearest Walmart and go to the greeter and ask him like to leave, distract him in some way, and sit in his chair and replace him and become the greeter for the day. And greet everyone by telling them to listen to the Tiny Disc podcast.
Wise words from a wise man.
No. Scratch that shit. Go to a fucking Chick-fil-A. I don't care, any Chick-fil-A.
On
the nearest
Sunday.
Chick-fil-A to you. Yeah, sure. And then go to that fucking Chick-fil-A. Listen to our podcast in that Chick-fil-A while you enjoy great fucking customer service where everyone is always smiling. And even when something bad happens, they just keep on smiling. And I want you to tweet at us. Just tweet at us that you're like, hey, I'm at Chick-fil-A. Don't care. I don't care who you are. Just say like, yeah, I'm at Chick-fil-A and I'm listening to Tiny Disc podcast.
Make sure it's a Sunday too.
Yeah, the last 30 seconds was sponsored by Chick-fil-A. Eat good chicken. Falast.
Yeah, eat more chicken.
Oh, that ass.
So where can we find you guys online on the internet?
At Chick-fil-A? No.
Wow. I mean, literally at Chick-fil-A.
At booboo__55, aka Colin M on Twitter.
At JACCEPEDA, Mr. Cepeda, if you're nasty.
You can find me at Panoptimist, PINOPTIMIST. Thank you so much for listening to the Tiny Disc podcast, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Just so you know, Xbox One X is the only place you can play Red Dead Redemption in 4K right now.
Oh shit.